passion for something, you're never going to give up.
Welcome back to Youthology on AUK Media. Joining us today is a very passionate storyteller and filmmaker who brings amazing stories to work. So could you please introduce yourself?
Me. So my name is Jaspal, director of Two Side Studios and Orange Picture Club. So we do documentaries, promo videos. We do animations as well with our production company. We've worked with a myriad of different community groups as well as organizations, some corporate groups as well, or businesses. And then with the Orange Picture Club, it's a community cinema that's based in the Luton Library Theatre. We have paid events, so paid shows like Iron Giant or In the Mood for Love, which cost £4. And then we've also got special shows that have been publicly funded. So we've got a World Cinema program where we're playing films from across the globe. And then we've also got a new project that we're working on with the ICO, the Independent Cinema Office, where we're basically setting up community cinemas all around the town. Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a lot of stuff, yeah. It's a big sentence, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Big sentence, a lot of stuff there.
But that's quite good. I think that kind of goes to show like your passion for storytelling and how much because everything you mentioned, Two Star Studios and then Orange Picture Club, they are involved. There's a narrative behind all of them. Okay.
I guess you could say, yeah.
What would you think? Like, why? It's gonna sound very weird, but why did you start storytelling? Like, is there a specific moment that stood out to you?
I guess as a kid, I was always enamored with films and storytelling. I don't like using the story because it's like quite generic. So everyone was into Star Wars when I was a kid, and at the end of that, the credits basically it says story by George Lucas, and I was like, oh, I could do that because I never thought of myself as a writer. I was like, I ain't writing. I'm gonna be the guy that dictates it to someone else who will write it, and I didn't think that was a job until I saw story by, and I was like, oh shit. So my like 6-year-old brain went to that, and it kind of just laid. Or it would kind of like come and go with, I wanted to do a little comic book when I was a kid, and then I wanted to do animation, and then when I went to university, mostly wanted to be a director. And so I only picked up writing or screenwriting because I realized that I don't know storytelling, so to direct better, I needed to understand stories. So I took the screenwriting module and I really enjoyed it, so I kind of like moved more into stories than say directing. And so if I was going to direct something like an actual story, an actual feature film story, if I was going to direct something, it would be more out of necessity, not out of a strong genuine want to direct. Yeah, if there's someone else that's better than directing, you direct, I'll just write it. So yeah, I guess it was that moment, I guess you could say, but it was a multitude of different moments or different things that would come and go into my life that kind of inspired me to get into storytelling.
So a lot of people want to get better at storytelling because I think it's such an important thing even for just normal conversations with people. So how did you develop your storytelling?
I'd still say I am still developing it because even now, I don't know if I was good at telling that story. I could have been better. So there's different ways to tell stories as well as how it works within your own life and job and stuff like that. So I used to be a part of this like business group called BNI, and you do this like 30 seconds or a minute when you stand up and you talk about your business. And I used to tell people to tell your story because essentially you don't give a damn about a business until you get the story and you understand why I should care. Two reasons for that. Well, corporations, they're selling you a brand, an idea, a lifestyle. But with small businesses, what's unique about them is the person doing it. Like, I want sustainable furniture, so that's what my thing's all about. Oh, right, I like the story and the person that has made that, so I'm going to latch onto that and get more into it. You know? So I read a lot of books when I was in university and about storytelling, about 3-act structure, and how to basically write a story and what is it. But it's really different to marketing yourself as a story compared to writing a script for. So depending on the medium and depending on what you're telling a story for. So like these ideas of how to sell or how to market are slightly different to how to sell a story, a beginning, middle, and end. You know what I mean? So, for example, the same, even though it comes from the same idea, like catching someone's attention with how you'd write an Instagram post, for example, that copywriting ability, you still need to set a story and set a tone. It's a lot lighter, but I still have taken those elements and those aspects from my knowledge from university and stuff like that. But essentially, do research. That's the biggest thing. Never be content with the fact that you think you know it. Oh, you watched Citizens Kane, so I know films. No, you don't. You've read one book, so you think you know some. Basically, we stand on the shoulders of giants. I think I've said this to you before, and you didn't really get the concept, did you? Essentially, the idea is that in books, TV shows, lectures, anything that has been written or that has been recorded, we can go back and learn about them. The only reason that we are here today is because inventions or things that have pushed humanity to where it is. The reason why we're sitting on this chair, why we have cameras, why we have the clothes that we wear, all those things have been iterated on one person at a time. And so that's what I mean when I say we stand on the shoulders of giants. There are already great, fantastic writers out there that have told us how they did it. So go in, don't be arrogant, you don't know anything, and learn from them. Learn as much as you can. Read things that you wouldn't otherwise read, simply for the pure learning of it, the pure idea of just learning something that is outside the scope that you want to write in. How does this, so you don't like science fiction, but what are the tropes of science fiction that you could possibly use in your writing? Maybe you write romance. Maybe you need something that's in science fiction to operate within, your thriller novel or something like that. Don't ever close yourself off, to ideas or stories, because it's all a story.
The next question is, what does creativity mean to you, and has it changed over time? So you did mention that when you were younger, people really loved Star Wars. Has that changed? Like, does your 8-year-old self seeing the storyteller or like story written by that 8-year-old self and you now, has it changed the definition of creativity and what that means to you?
I guess it does, but I didn't really, it's not a thing that I was like, oh, I need to be creative. It was just, the way I see creativity is literally just stepping out of the pathway, stepping out of the means that everyone else has, or the path most followed, so to speak. That's where creativity is, I'd say. It's like, for example, what you chose to wear today. You could have wore something like a bit more generic, or like that. I think that's creative in a way where. But then the question is, what is the standard? So it's like the path less followed is basically you stepping out of the regular train of thought. What is slightly different in your day, and then that's you kind of just being creative in itself. So it's a bit more broad. Because I get a lot of the time people saying to me, oh, I can't draw, I can't do that, I'm not artistic, I'm not creative. But we all agree that every single human being is different, right? Not everyone is born the same. We're all slightly different. Thereby, everyone has a different perspective. And if art is personal expression, doesn't that mean everyone is an artist? Everyone can be creative in their own different right. They have a different flavor or a different color to present to the world, or lesson or an idea that no other person could come up with. So by denying yourself of that, you're basically denying everyone else of an idea that could change someone else's life. Just because you think you're not creative.
That's so inspiring, because I like to draw and paint, but I always feel like I'm not that good.
Why?
I don't know. And like, I also like animation. I used to do it when I was younger, and I just like a lot of the creative sides of things, but I've always felt like I'm not that good. And like when I do learn like new techniques, or it always just feels like there's so much more to learn.
Well, that's the joy of life, really, to learn things and to experience them. So it shouldn't be that you're not good at it. This is why you should not continue pursuing it. It's the joy of learning something and exploring something new, and experience is fundamentally the journey in itself. It's not by the end of it, when on your deathbed, we're like, she was okay, painter. She was okay. That won't matter. The fact that you did it and explored your self-expression is the thing. It didn't matter whether you were good or not. And that's all about public opinion. It was never up to you to decide if it's good or not. It's not up to you. It's up to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
You know? You put something out there and you can think it's good for yourself. But then at the end of the day, art is for being consumed. So this is why I think sometimes people get arrogant with themselves and like, yes, it's the best screenplay I've ever written. I love it so much. But if no one else likes it, then who cares?
I have the opposite issue.
You've got to balance the two, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think there was this popular painter, I think it's Da Vinci, I'm not sure. Was it him? I don't remember.
Probably.
Someone who spent their entire lives thinking they were a failure in painting, and then their paintings literally everywhere. The most observed one. I think whoever did
Who did you say?
I don't know.
Did she say Leon?
She said Da Vinci.
Correct me if I'm wrong. but I don't know nothing about painting.
It's oh my god, now you're getting me to forget. It's not Leonardo da Vinci.
Vincent van Gogh.
Van Gogh, yes, that's it.
Yeah, he did Starry Night.
Yeah, that's it.
He,
I don't know why I said Da Vinci. It's because of the V, Vincent van Gogh, and then Da Vinci.
yeah.
V.
He's got a very sad life. You should, a lot of people should look into more of that. I think that's how art should be. That's how you should pursue art in the most basic way. I'm not gonna say cut your ear off.
I was gonna say.
There is a lot more layers to why he did that. But I would say to pursue art and to pursue it, knowing that it's going nowhere. There are thousands, countless amount. There's not just Van Gogh. There's other artists that have put music out there that just sit there, and then a rapper or someone later down the line goes, "Yo, that's a cool little beat. I'm gonna make sampled, boom.
Hit.
Now that's a hit."
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like you don't. It's just adding to the pile of more stuff.
Okay, so you're the co-creator and director of Two Slice Studios. What's the original vision behind it? Why is it called Two Slice? I think I have a hypothesis.
I think
Why
I
is
know
it
as
called-
well.
What's your hypothesis first? Let's try.
Yeah.
Let's let you answer the question for me. Let's just do that. Let's try that. Let's try something. Let's be different.
It's fine. Let's just leave it like that. Let's have it.
What would you say? I have a hypothesis and just leave it there.
We'll have you answer and then
I
we'll
wanna
tell
hear
you.
it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what's the original vision behind it?
Visual vision. Okay. Essentially, back in it was 2023, me and my brother started a documentary about the Premier League, or Luton entering the Premier League. And we only made it a company because we thought we needed to make it a company, like we needed to brand this kind of stuff. And so we made it, well, we kind of were thinking about it, but we didn't make it into a company until the documentary was finished. It was basically done.
Okay.
And then we basically incorporated the company and actually built it from there, if that makes sense. We were still using the name and we still figured out, but it hadn't basically been incorporated at all. We were just using our own money to make that original documentary. And then from there it sort of built up, and so we didn't quite 100% know what we were doing. Maybe sense of that? I don't know.
No.
Essentially, we figured out what the company was as we were doing it. Clearly, from the launch of it, with the documentary that we made, where we're talking to community groups about the community, and we're talking about different aspects of what people's lives do and how they're helping platform certain groups and what have you, we tended to lean into that naturally. So we started working with more community groups. Obviously the people that would features into that documentary we carried on working with, and so that's where our network started building. And essentially I think that's what makes us different from other production companies, is that we build extremely solid relationships to the point where I think they're more important than our actual product. Our videos are less important than our actual network.
It's net worth now, isn't it? Yeah.
Was that a play on words?
Yeah.
You didn't even realise? Yeah. But yeah, I genuinely think a lot of the time build a network with people. So for example, we filmed the Colour Run that happened recently in Waldown Park. And that's another story how we know Salma and how we got involved with her. But we filmed it and we were packing up when we were talking to Bab Shah, the previous High Sheriff and current Left Lieutenant of Bedfordshire. I think it's Left Lieutenant. And he was chatting to us, and he was like, "Oh, you want to come to the cricket club just right over here? We can just have a drink." I'm like, "Yeah, cool." Went to a place I've never been to. There's a cricket club on the upper side of Waldown Park, and then they had an event later on it was like a Kenyan event. So these people rented out this massive cricket hall for this Kenyan event. You know? So it was quite interesting because you had classic British cricket club with a lot of these Kenyans in it. But it was a really good vibe and a really good atmosphere, and we only did it simply because we knew Bav, he wanted to get a drink, and then I met the organisers because he knew everyone there, and he introduced me to a load of different people. It's a really good networking opportunity for me.
Yeah.
He basically goes around helping sell who we are because he's invested in who we are, because he likes us as human beings. We're just genuine friends now. Yeah, exactly. So essentially, this is what happens when you build these strong networks, when opportunities for them happen, and they're like, oh, we need a filmmaker. Who are we going to get? Oh, Two Sides.
Yeah.
You know, that's the first thing that comes into their mind. Isn't it?
Amazing.
I think that's the most important thing.
I feel like as a small business owner, you sell yourself, not the business or the product.
Yes, and then it kind of, what I've started to realize is it starts to build to a larger brand. So what is a Two Sides brand video? Like, what is that? And I've started to break that down where with some other videos, you might get really clean, smooth shots with their gimbal. And it's like, oh yeah, this is like smooth, sexy shots. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like, just, we don't really do that. There's like maybe a jostle or there's like a weird error. Highly intentional. Don't look into that. But essentially, that gives it a more authentic, real feeling that there is a human being behind the camera. Usually with these other production companies, they have this feeling.
Too automated.
Yeah, it's
Gives
great.
character.
Yeah, because it's so
It's really
smooth.
clean.
It's really clean. You don't realize that there's a person there. So because of that, as well as how I talk on camera, because of how we edit in terms of this really quick cut, it gives us this idea of a raw, unfiltered version of this group or this production company or this business or whoever we're presenting or platforming at that time. Do you see what I mean? So I've started to narrow down what our brand is by doing it. Sometimes we go into it thinking, oh, I need to have all of the things sorted out. Just do it and then slowly figure it out. Make sure that you're always humbling yourself and thinking, okay, yeah, I don't know anything, I'm always going to learn, and just keep at it, basically. Yeah.
I feel like that's created an entire genre of film, like the found footage type, because it's like all about, you know, a person actually filming and you know that they're filming.
Yeah.
So I feel like that gives it a lot of character.
There is, I think there's a more of a, if you guys saw the Louis Theroux Manosphere documentary. Oh, guess not. War, right. Anyway, Louis Theroux is kind of like a documentarian that does somewhat what I do, where he's a presenter and he'll go around presenting certain people's lives. He'll like undercover certain communities and stuff. Really interesting, you should check him out. But during the Manosphere, the recent one, he's interviewing a YouTuber who talks directly to the camera. And Louis like, don't talk to the camera, we don't do that. You just talk to me.
Like
and
us.
No, because it's like, that's how Louis does things. And whenever Louis is going to directly direct the audience, it's always through voiceover. There's a very clear divide between the two. I don't do that. I talk directly to the camera like a YouTube video. And I realize that that's what makes me slightly different. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's what makes it different from more traditional documentaries where the presenter is slightly separated.
Yeah.
But then it's more kind of like those other ones where they're walking through a hallway and like, back in dinosaur times, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, and it's more staged or theatrical, but it doesn't feel like that. It feels more like a YouTube video where I'm like, hey buddy, we're gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
More kind of like Channel 4 or BBC kind of like mini docs, kind of like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so it has a lot of more post-modernism vibes to it, I guess.
It's quite nice. Okay, so this is one question that I've been thinking about a lot recently, because I'm just trying to understand the different jobs that exist in media and the creative
just in general.
space. Yeah.
Right.
So, is a creative director the same person as a story? Because they're also telling a story, creative directors, and now you're a director, and then you're also where is the line? I don't know where the line is between those two jobs.
Well, between a what and a what?
A storyteller and a creative director. Don't they just do the same things?
I guess. In what context?
So I've seen, like, for music videos, there's a creative director.
Yeah.
And just like in branding, because I'm a very music person.
There's the difference. One is an actual job that you will be paid for, and one is more of a branding, hey, I'm a storyteller, I'm like an artist. You know, it's just more of a branding concept. Like, no one is being paid to be a storyteller, but they're being paid as an author or a screenwriter or creative director. Do you see what I mean?
Okay.
Have I defined it for you?
Yeah, no, because I was very confused. I didn't
Like,
know.
you're a storyteller. I could define you as a storyteller. Even though you're a musician, you tell your stories through music.
Music. Okay, yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Surprised I had to define that for you.
No, because I've seen like videos of people saying, because I've tried to dive deep into this, and then they always introduce themselves as storytellers, and then some people say, oh, I'm a creative director, especially when you're working with different people. Some people say, oh, I'm a storyteller, and it's just, I don't really, I got confused at some point. Is that an actual job role, like
No,
pathway?
not really. Like, you've got to break it down, essentially, and it's more of a buzzword that people use.
I'm creative.
Yeah, exactly. That's why when you said, has the word creativity changed to you, should have given a real answer. Yeah, it has. It's been kind of bastardized, I'd say. We tend to use it like ice cream on a hot day. It's just ubiquitous. Is it creative? Make sure it's creative. Make sure it's like, just make something. Just do something. I don't know. I think sometimes when you overuse the idea of being creative or creativity or all of that, it doesn't mean, it's not special anymore. Like, when I was a kid, it wasn't really, it was like, yeah, be creative, but make sure you're smart and intellectual. That is the bigger thing. Like, if you're drawing, make sure you're also studying your times tables, because that ain't gonna pay for nothing. And now the whole narrative is flipped. So, you gotta make sure they're creative, make sure their creative spark is, because then anyone who feels like they're not creative tends to feel a lot smaller because of it.
Yeah, makes sense. I want to learn more. No.
I get it. Trust me.
I want to learn more about your documentaries. So, like, what is the process of creating your documentary? How do you get started? And what are some of the documentaries you've made?
Okay. We actually have a workshop that we're doing with Orange Picture Club, the Orange Academy. If you go on our website, you can find out more information. They'll be starting in like September onwards, and there will be the process is of teaching you how to make a documentary from beginning to end, writing, production, post-production, all of that jazz. But for this, I'll give you a small snippet. Essentially, the process is kind of like, it's a bit half and half. It's a bit of, you do have to script it. So a lot of people don't think that there's scripts in a documentary. There are. So how I'll do it is, so you kind of like have to think of the idea that you're presenting. So what do you want to, what question are you answering? Or question you asking in the first place? And what general answer do you want to get to at the end? And obviously all the scripted parts of me talking to camera or doing voiceover, I can clearly do. And then get a general idea of what each interview is going to give me. So like, I'll talk to one organization or group, and they do things with disabled people, for example. This is really great what this organizations do. Let's see how it affects the bigger, larger picture, kind of thing. But then you leave enough gaps so when you actually do the thing, depending on how it goes, you can steer it towards another direction, essentially. You're getting certain people to give you the information that you want, the story that you want. You're engineering the story.
You're prompting it.
Yeah, essentially. Well, your brain's like working like, what?
No, I get it. It's just, I don't know if that takes away from I don't know, I've always seen documentaries
as
just
true,
feel like
as real.
They I don't know how to explain it, but whatever conclusion they got there by themselves. Not I have to pick these specific to give
like
me this
most
type of answer.
most if not all documentaries are kind of not fabricated, but like there's a lot of stretching of reality. Like you've seen Big Brother, right?
No.
You know of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God. Good Lord. The way they would do that, the way they would edit that, you can manipulate a situation, for example. So we could be in a Big Brother situation, right? And I'm chatting to you guys, talking, and then I make a joke, and then the edit cuts to both of you just sitting there. Or you're laughing your asses off. So in those two scenarios, because you're getting 24 hours of footage of people just sitting around, so you can use the edit to tell a story. You really can manipulate events to really show off people or really degrade someone. So even in that aspect alone, you are not a fly in the wall. There's no such thing as a completely like what's the word when you
Unfiltered, I don't know, unnecessary, raw,
Detached.
No, I mean in the sense that you will always be interacting with the story. There's no way that you can come in and do a documentary about, let's say we're doing a documentary about autism. There's no way I can get into that and not influence the story. I'm going to influence the story just by meeting the people, by talking to people. Even if I'm in the corner of the room, someone in that room is going to act different because the camera is being pointed at them. There's no way we can do subjective, completely objective documentary.
Okay, now that makes more sense. I thought you would deliberately, let's say you had like 10 people, you'd ask them questions and they're like, I don't really like your answer, you're off. I don't really like your answer, you're off. But the narrative I want to sell requires the type of answer you've just given me.
So there is that manipulation. I'd be going through interviews with some of our documentaries and I'd transcribe everything and then highlight certain elements that I want, and then put it up on sticky notes, and then put the ones that match. So it's like a conversation, but I'm manipulating and changing things. For example, in our first documentary, there's a moment with a counsellor, and she's explaining how there's a lot going on with the council and things take time. We can't build Rome in a day.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a really good bit. And I took that and I juxtaposed it to a archive footage of an old interview of a 1970s counsellor, pretty much saying the same thing, where he's like, it takes time. And then you're like, whoa.
How much time can it actually take?
Yeah, exactly. So essentially that's what I tried, and this is where I realized, like, yo, that was the cut of the century. And this is what I wanted to do more of that, where the best of my documentaries, I feel, have another undercurrent layer underneath it, something else it's saying underneath it. I don't think I've mastered that just as yet. Each one is slightly different. But yeah, I'm trying to keep that. So it's not just the events and the things that you're seeing in front of you, but a undercurrent storyline happening underneath.
That's always the part of documentaries I find the most fascinating, because I don't know if you guys have seen, like on YouTube, people will edit movie trailers to give them like a different vibe or like different genre. So I always find it so fascinating that you could record something and give it to different people and it could just turn into a completely different narrative.
Different outcome. Yeah, I mean, I think we tend to overlook how crucial editing is. Essentially, you don't. If we were to set up cameras all around this room and have 3 cameras on each of us, and we have a little sitcom kind of conversation, the choices that you make in terms of what edit, when you cut, and when you don't cut, even if we were all following the same script, what angles we choose to cut to,
they'll insinuate different
things. Exactly. Even in those constraints, it's just those choices that you make.
Well, I was not expecting to learn so much about the power of editing today.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy.
What is the difference? Like, why did you see the need to have 2 different things
going on at the same time? Oh yeah, it was a lot, actually, I'm not gonna lie. So if you do have a early company, don't be like, oh, let's create a CIC after creating a company after a year. Like, oh my God, it was a lot. And it still is, it's still a lot to juggle. Really, it came out of an opportunity that arose. Essentially, we through 2 sides, through my company, we ended up meeting the Luton Library Theatre, and then we ended up making a documentary for them, and we built this relationship with them. And there was an opportunity that came when one of our directors, Machet, created a program within the theatre called Mystery Cinema, wherein he just shows a mystery film to a bunch of people in it. It did okay, and then he put it on hiatus because he was sorting out some stuff, but he was going to bring it back. We came to him and was like, hey, we think we should do a bigger thing where it's not just you and it's the rest of us as well. And we think we need to build a rapport with the audience. Because people aren't going to come to a mystery cinema if they don't know who you are, because you need to build that thing, like your trusted opinion on music, for example. We're coming, like you do a mystery concert and you put mystery people up. Oh, right, I like Forever's music taste, so I'm going to go and see.
Yeah.
If it's just a mystery and we don't know who you are, like, it could be a complete mixed bag. I've absolutely no idea what you're into. I don't know if it's going to be a horror. No idea.
Yeah.
So it's a bit harder to sell. So we were like, hey, we should just build this rapport, build the thing, and then see how it goes. And at first, it was just sort of, we saw the opportunity with theatre. We'd made a documentary. We made a good relationship with them. So we're like, hey, you know, this is a thing here. We can do something.
Actually build from here.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, we thought it would be a lot easier than it actually was. So we thought it'd be, we set it up and people will come. Like, that's all it needs. But we've actually found it is a lot more difficult. We struggle to get a really steady amount of people in. But we do have recurring people throughout the years, so... And what I've come to realize, it's not about selling out tickets, it's about the fact that it's that steady cultural hub for cinema that's there. You know, we have Cineworld, but we don't really, and we do have Soul Cine, and we have a couple of other things happening. But there isn't somewhere like that, that are purely dedicated to pretty much a myriad of different things. So it's not just kids' films, it's not just foreign films, it's not just independent films, it's all of them. You know, with this kind of neat branding that summarizes Luton as well. So that's where we kind of came. It kind of was a snowball effect where it just sort of built upon itself, really. And we are where we are now. And really what maybe not throw in the towel, where if it was just a sense of an interest just for money, I would have thrown in the towel a long time ago. But it was doing these screenings and seeing how happy it made some people. Like, as soon as we finished the screening, people would be like, oh, I haven't seen this film in so long. Or some of these kids hadn't seen these films ever. And so these parents find an excuse to show these films to their kids. As well as showing independent films or foreign films that people would have never otherwise have heard of or seen. And so what we're doing is, even if we were to like be bankrupt tomorrow, those kids in 15 years will look back and be like, there was like a cinema club I went to when I was like 5 years old. And then that might help inspire him to do something, like maybe films or maybe something or anything, I don't know. Or just the fact that existed. It was just that little bit of joy for that day, and it's just slightly different, you know. That we go up and we present before the film. We keep the prices cheap. It's a lot more intimate. You've been, you know, it's like it's a lot more because there's a small amount of people. We tend to have like conversations with people about the film as well afterwards. So it's when you build this rapport with them, you don't really get that with Cineworld. Not the same way. I used to work there, so I can tell you.
You know what you're describing, that's exactly what I've like experienced with
you've been as well. You just said that you went as well,
yeah, so that's exactly what I've experienced with it. So in terms of like stories and documentaries, how do you decide what story is worth telling, and how do you kind of commercialize that and like profit from it, essentially?
How do you make money from that? It is a hard choice, because you could literally make a documentary about anything. And so far, we've kind of been a bit lucky. So the first one was the Premier League, second one was the Luton Library Theatre, the third one was the Big Weekend, and then the most recent is the BLCF, so Bedfordshire Luton Community Foundation. That's the first one. Someone else has approached us, or they didn't approach us, they put out an advert or something like that, but they put out a commission, and then we got the expression of interest, and we got the job, basically. So that was the first one where it's essentially in a commission. All the others are just our choice to be like, hey, we want to make this documentary.
Yeah, okay.
And it's just essentially if I can find, so for example, the Big Weekend one, we'd filmed it because we knew we were going to do something with it. And then it was like a few months later, and then the director from Butte Film Festival, I met him up for something else, and then we're having a casual conversation. He just mentioned to me, oh, are you going to be submitting to the new Butte, the next year's Butte? And I was like, I haven't got anything, wasn't really thinking to. And so after that I kept thinking, oh, maybe I should. And I only submitted because I said to my brother, we'll go back and look at those Big Weekend footage, and if I can find a storyline, if I can find an angle, then it just be this event happened, isn't it cool? Yeah. If I can't find that underlying angle, then we won't do it. And essentially what I found was these independent artists that came and played at the big weekend were surrounded by huge mainstream, like world-ending superstars like Coldplay and Sabrina Carpenter and all that. And while most people might be like, well, what's the point? No one gives a flying shit about me compared to Coldplay, but you still come and you still play and you still participate because it's not about that, you know? It's about the journey to get to that point. And that mirrors Luton's story. In and in itself.
Literally next to London.
Yeah, exactly. Not just that, but just we're surrounded by these big cities, as well as just the concept of Luton being this small underdog, surrounded by these bigger things. But we still turn up and play.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't gonna do the documentary until I found that.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's how I kind of do it. Unless I find a good enough story, or I'm paid well enough. Then I won't do it. And to be fair, it's the same with BLCF. Obviously, they're a community foundation. They create grants to support loads of different community groups all around Bedfordshire. So yeah, it was like that's an amazing story. Kind of thing. So it worked for us and it worked for them, and that's why they took us on board, because they knew what we're all about and why we do the things that we do, and it kind of matched our missions matched.
Yeah. That's quite nice.
That was a lot of talking.
Because I didn't realise that
Didn't think I'd talk so much on this thing.
the Radio 1 big weekend, I've never viewed it from that lens before, so that is quite cool.
So you haven't seen my documentary?
No.
Oh.
I haven't. I'm not going to sit here and lie.
Okay, you should watch it.
I will. I definitely will. I feel like when I watch it now,
It's my favourite one. I shouldn't say that, but it is my favourite one.
I will have a different perspective and I would look at it from a different lens now. But just a quick question, because if you go to the Luton Library Theatre, you will see orange everywhere. Orange, the character, orange.
Oh, you mean the mascot?
Yeah,
Right.
I want to understand, like, how did you come up with that?
How did I come up with that?
Is it just as blatant as the name, Orange Picture Club, Orange?
A little bit. It is a little bit that, but to explain that, do you want the full answer?
I want
the full answer. Okay. So when I finished university, I wanted to do an animation, and one of the animations that I came up with was a story that I call now. What do I call it now? Searching for Wonder. Essentially, it's about this fruit island, and they're all like live fruit, and they're all alive, and they're talking or what have you, and they're on a little island, and they go on a little adventure. Essentially, what I came up with is that fruits are like they expire, so they're short and sweet kind of thing. They expire, they go out of date really quickly, but they're sweet, taste-wise. So this is the life of these fruits. They live and they die quickly. So they live for experiences. Yeah. You know, they live to live, so to speak. And so I wanted to create a story about that, and what would a life be like if it was so short? You know, if it was only a week. Yeah. You know, and I created it as like a little story, a little children's story, and it was like about a watermelon who cares more about relationships, and a strawberry who cares more about experiences, going on a little adventure across this little island. And I mirror that little village of fruits with a village the other side of the island that learned to dry themselves, you know, like when you dry fruit, to live longer because they value relationships more. Yeah, I came up with the whole thing, all of this thing. Yeah, it's talking fruits. Yeah, I love she's giving me this weird look like, what the hell are you talking about? But yeah, essentially, I had all these characters, had all this story written, and so when we came up with the name The Orange Picture Club, I immediately went to I've already done these fruit designs, I'll just kind of like create an orange one. Boom, there it is. So that orange is essentially using all the artistic elements that I built already for years and years with those other characters, the watermelon and the strawberry.
And vitamin C for cinema.
Oh, that was, Magic came up with that, yeah. But that's where the character came from. And then obviously, I kind of took it as a kind of like a Kirby. You've not heard of Kirby, have you?
Absolutely not.
You really?
No.
Oh, I'm glad you know what Kirby is. Essentially, if you don't know what Kirby is, it's like...
I heard scurvy. That was what I heard.
Well, scurvy if you don't eat your vitamin C.
So Kirby is a video game character, and what the cool thing about him is he's a little pink little ball. He looks very much like my little orange character. When he consumes an enemy, he will take the traits of that enemy. So if he eats a sword character, he'll get a little sword. Not turn into a sword, he'll gain a sword, or like he'll gain fire powers, or it's a game, it's a cool game. Anyway, I figured to use that element but with films. So depending on the film that we're playing,
That's what I was about to ask.
he's basically
The oranges.
yeah,
That one actually blows my mind up. I think about it all the time. But it's basically, he has different posters, and each poster is of a different movie. But the character is orange.
I've
It's
seen
just so random. But yeah.
yeah.
I have some of the posters.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's kind of stolen from. Oh, do you? That's
Yeah, because I come to the thing.
I know I saw that with like B-movie or something. I've seen that with other film marketing before, where they take the character from the film and they just put it in old school film posters. So it's not an original idea.
Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I was just happy to see it. Like,
It's a lot of ideas mixed together. A lot of established ideas already mixed together. So it's really
standing on the shoulders of giants.
Well, so what would you say your animation style is?
animation style.
Yeah, like there's 2D, like hand-drawn, 3D.
Mine, okay, so I use a program called TV Paint. It's French. No joke, it is French. It's a really good one. Basically, what I like about it is that it's kind of like paper. So it's a lot more traditional 2D animation. But I don't animate as much as I used to, and I would like to go back to it more often. But I kind of find it's a really hard medium, because it is like, if I want to do a 2-minute animation of like the orange character like bouncing around or even just waving, it'll take me not years.
Yeah.
I know, I'm
Take me a
exaggerating,
lot.
but
Like
it
first
takes
you
a
do
lot
the
of
sketch of it. If I had the animation in my head, like boom, already done. First I have to do the sketch. First, and then I have to do like the ink outline, then the color, and then the shadows, and then clean up, and then like backgrounds, all those other elements, or any extra additional animations you add on, all this other stuff, or sound effects or special effects, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of elements that go into doing an animation, even for like a 2-second thing. And it's usually just me doing it by myself.
So one of the things that really does strike me about like the many companies, like brands you've worked with, is TEDx Luton. So I wouldn't say I've been following them, TEDx, I haven't followed them really like super closely, but I've seen them pop up in a couple cities that like people would never expect. One of them.
What, TEDx in general?
Yeah. And one of them was Luton, and you were involved in that. Take us through that. How did you get involved with it? How was it like filming it entirely?
Oh, it was a bit of a nightmare.
Really?
It was a lot. So the person who organised it, a woman named Victoria, she bought the license. That's what it is. It's a license that anyone can buy.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So you could do it if you had enough money. It's quite expensive. And they give you they give you a guideline to follow with TEDx. So like where the screen has to be, what people are wearing, the type of lighting.
What people are wearing?
Yeah, like all of these kind of things.
Huh.
It's very, well, the people were wearing stuff. That was sort of me, because I was like, okay, if you're dark-skinned, wearing dark clothes with a black background, you're going to disappear. So please just wear something a little bit brighter.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was on me. But essentially, they give you this really strict guideline to follow. And then you have to take that, and we created our little media plan from that. But we met Victoria, I'm not sure how my brother got involved with them, with her, sorry. This goes back to our network, where essentially we built enough rapport with people. I think it was the theatre. I'm not 100% sure how she got involved with my brother, but essentially she got a meeting with my brother, and then from there we built up talks, and it happened a year prior to when we actually did it. So we had this conversation, we agreed to do it, and a year goes around, we're like, oh God, this is coming around the corner. Essentially, it's a live filming. We've got about 50 or so people in the audience, and anytime they make a mistake, we have to reset. So if there's a major mistake, we have to reset. Luckily, there wasn't. So if someone fell over or something like that, we would have to. They can do small mistakes. So if they go, we can cut that out. That's fine, it's not a problem. But if it's big things, then we would have to reset the whole thing. So the audience have to be prepped that, hey, by the way, you might hear this 2 or 3 times. So everyone has to be basically on point. So there was that pressure. It's hey, don't screw it up. We've got one one go at this, really. Because there's only so much time in the day as well, we had 7 of them. And we had the book in between, I think it was like 12 till about 8 or something like that. And each one of them may vary between minutes. So we only had so much time for screw-ups, basically. Wow. So you had to get it on point. And we had several cameras set up on the seating area. So it was very much like a live TV recording. Even though it wasn't actually live, we could edit it, but it had to feel like that, because essentially one of the stipulations that TEDx say is that essentially every camera that's recording needs to feel like a live camera, like it's a live feed. So no jostling the camera, nothing like that. So they were quite strict with it. So doing it was quite a bit, I'd say. It was quite a lot of work. But it was interesting. Honestly, if I was... I think we'll get involved with the next one, but I personally don't like doing live events like that. It's just too intense, too much, and it's less about my artistic whatever I'm putting on top of it, and it's more just like, get the coverage, and it's just a little bit mind-numbing a little bit. But yeah, I did enjoy the talks themselves. Every single one of the people that did it, hats off to you. You guys smashed it. Hats off to Wade, because he's probably the best one. But yeah, that was that.
So would you say you would do something like that again? And like looking towards the future, what kind of things would Two Side Studio and Orange Picture Club kind of get more involved with?
With Two Sides, I kind of want to do more narrative-based films, because I realize with documentaries they are stuck in a time. There are only a few documentaries that stand the test of time, that you could watch at any point in history and be like, this is an amazing documentary. However, most documentaries, even the really good ones, are stuck in a time. Even David Attenborough. We could watch David Attenborough and be like, oh, this is amazing. But yeah, in about 50, 100 years' time, when the environment is completely screwed up and fucked, and we were living in space and we watched that, it's not going to have the same feeling anymore. Oh, it might actually. It might. But it won't. It's just more historical now. They're more historical. They're not saying the same thing they used to. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's more. It has a completely different view on it than it was made for. If that makes sense. Like, unlike a story that I could write and then tell, you can still get the same feeling. Like, we can still get the same feeling of Romeo and Juliet hundreds of years later. But if someone wrote an account of Shakespeare's life, it's going to change how we view it years later down the line. I mean, how we look at Shakespeare now has changed multiple times, how we look at him as history has gone on. Like, sometimes we say he's a liar, sometimes we say this, sometimes we say, you know. How a society is kind of reflects how we view certain heroes or people we look up to as well, you know, whether we revere them or we don't. I forgot the question. I've just sort of...
The question was, what type of movies, what type of film do you want to make as you...
Oh, right, yeah. So that's... I would like to make more, narratives. I would still want to make documentaries and make more of them and explore different communities all around the world. I would love to be Anthony Bourdain, but like all across the world with different like communities. It's not about food. It's about weird and wonderful community groups. But I would really like to make a feature film that's scripted and narrative, because I think those stand the test of time. Those are the things people come back to forever and forever. That's what I've kind of realized with doing Orange Picture Club. Like I did a little reel video on Instagram with one of the films that we were playing. It was Iron Giant. I took a little scene, made a little caption, just put it out there. And then on Facebook, I had hundreds of comments from people in America and all over the place being like, oh, I remember this film. And they were having a moment. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I mean, it's a great film. But then I realized as well, twofold, is that one, this is great for Orange to incite film conversation all across the world. But two, these are the things that stand the test of time. 20 years later, these people are having a moment on an animated film.
On Facebook.
Yeah, on Facebook. So this is what I need to do. This is what I need to create for Two Sides. Is something that truly says who we are and makes a big enough statement, a splash, so to speak. I can only do so much in the documentary sphere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe it's time to expand. Okay. So now the final question is, what type of advice would you give new filmmakers, people who are just coming into this, you from 10 years ago?
Essentially, make sure that you constantly humble yourself. You know, you're always learning from other people that's around you. Never go into a situation or a shoot thinking, yeah, I'm bigger than everyone else here. I've always noticed with some filmmakers is that they go into a situation and they're filming and they're not interacting with anyone. They're like robots. They're like, yeah. The fact that you both agreed is like, how ridiculous is it? Like, and I'm making sure whenever I go to these events, I'm like smiling to the people that I'm filming. I'm waving at them because if I'm a robot behind camera, they're a robot in front of camera.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? You're a human being experiencing things. Please get them to experience something. That's what annoys me with mostly camera people. So those kind of filmmakers. But with writers and narrative filmmakers, we tend to think of, or I've seen a lot of the time, they tend to have this like over grandization of themselves. Like, you're 19, you haven't lived. You haven't lived.
I did not deserve any of that.
I'm not saying, well, you took that on yourself. I wasn't directing at you, but essentially, you haven't lived. You haven't gone through heartbreak. You haven't gone through financial difficulty. You haven't lost friends. You haven't weighed the existential crisis of whether your dream is nothing in the grand scheme of life. You haven't weighed that up yet. It happens. Like, as you get older, experience more life. Like, go out, live, write about those things. And it doesn't mean that, oh, I've never had an abortion, so I can't write a character that's had an abortion. No, that's not it. It's essentially live, talk to people, experience their lives, learn about them. And essentially, the people you learn about become the characters that are in your future stories. Essentially, what I tend to see a lot of the time is this, like I said, arrogance. You know, that I know better than others. I need to have. What story do you need to tell? What idea are you telling? It's not just I need to be a good filmmaker or I need to be a great artist. What are you putting out there in the world? What are you trying to say? Because if you think about all those artists that have blown up in the past few years, Doja Cat or like Childish Gambino, or every single one of them have something to say. You know, even if it is quite silly. With the Doja Cat one, for example, she did that weird cat thing.
The cow thing.
The cow thing, right? She was saying something about being an artist and how we kind of like pander to the lowest common denominator. And then ironically, she became that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they blew up, because there was a sincerity, there was a message, there was something there, there was a core idea there. That's what you need to find. And you find that by living life, like truly living life. Yeah, that's it.
That's such a powerful message.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems simple, like go out there and live life, but like it's a lot more than that. It's more. There's a lot more layers to it. I think this is the final question.
Final question. Lies. You see, lies.
If people were to find you,
yes.
If they wanted to keep score, I don't know if that's the right word, but if they wanted to just, okay, what's going on? What's the next project you have? Where can they find you?
Where can we find you? I'm in a room right now in AW House. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. So twosidestudios.co.uk. That we've got our website, and then we're also on Instagram, Facebook. Same with the Orange Picture Club. Orange Picture Club at orangepictureclub.co.uk. Website, Facebook, Instagram. Then also, we have the new project that I was saying about the ICO project, where we're creating cinemas all across Luton. That is a separate thing entirely that we've called Spotlight Luton. That also has a website. And if you are like, what is this Spotlight Luton? What is this creating cinemas in other parts of Luton? What is that? Please give me more information. That's why you need to check out spotlightluton.co.uk, or it's .co.uk. Yes, to find out more information, because there's a lot of moving parts to it, and to explain it in the next. There's not much time. There's no time. It's symbolism. There's no time. Cool. Should we wrap up?
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been an amazing conversation.
Thank you for having me.
And we've learned a lot, haven't we?
What did you learn?
I've learned that I can't just be, I won't say proud, but I've learned that I really need to go and learn life and experience, and I can tell stories about other people and the things that I do. I don't have to I don't know how to explain, but the thing you said there about the abortions, I don't have to get an abortion to write about it. I can really learn people, understand them. And
research.
Basically.
Research, live life, research.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank
Ellis
you.
for life.
Bye.
Ellis for life.